afternoon, everyone. I am Daniel, your Minister of Communication and Digital. Thank you for being here today. We are going to discuss an issue that becoming more and more serious among young Malaysians, which is the pressure from the social media and how it causes anxiety. Based on a recent national survey, anxiety symptoms among Malaysian youth have increased by almost 40% in just 1 year. That is quite alarming. Many of them said they feel stressed trying to post perfect photos, chase likes, and keep up with influencers' lifestyles. It is clear that while social media connects us and opens new opportunities, it also has a darker side, one that quietly affects our confidence, emotions, and even our mental health. So today, we will dive deeper into this issue from 3 different perspectives. Now with me, I have Miss Ang, a young influencer and student representative who actively uses social media for education and creative sharing, and also NURSHASHA, a mental health advocate who works closely with students and schools to promote emotional well-being. Let's begin with Ms. Ang. As someone who represents your voice online, what is your take on this rising issue?
Thank you, Daniel. I'm really happy we are talking about this topic because it's something almost every teenager and young adult can relate to. As a young influencer, I have seen both of the bright and the dark side of the social media. On one hand, it's a platform that allows young people to express themselves, such as share ideas, creativities, and even their struggles. It helps more creators reach large audience and give opportunity to students to learn and earn throughout the content creation. But on the other hand, the constant competition online is real. Many of us feel pressure to look perfect, act perfect, and always post something interesting. When the likes don't come, and you will start questioning your worth. I've personally gone through the phases, which is refreshing my posts just to see if anyone comments. It's a dangerous cycle because social media can make you compare yourself with others non-stop. You forget that what you see online is not real life because it's filters, staged and edited. So people only shows the highlights here, not the full story. So for me, the main solution is not to delete the social media, but to learn digital literacy. We must understand how algorithms work, how online validation affect our brains, and how to take control of our time online.
Okay, that's good. Thank you, Ang. I think what you said is very true. Social media is not enemy. It is how we use it that determines its impact. There is no doubt about it. Social media connects us like never before, but it also divides attention and time. From the government perspective, we see a growing trend where youth spend an average of 8 to 10 hours per day online. That is almost half of the day. And when that time is spent comparing life or chasing likes, it affects not only productivity but also mental health. Our ministry has started several initiatives to promote digital wellness and cyber ethics. For example, we are working with schools to include lessons about healthy habits, such as how to handle cyberbullying, fake news, and online pressure. However, that is true, but awareness alone isn't enough. Many young people know social media can be harmful, but they still cannot stop scrolling. That is where emotional education and community support come in. As a policymaker, I believe in beliefs which we should encourage innovation and creativity online, but we must also create safe spaces for young people to express themselves without pressure or fear of judgment.
Okay, I completely agree with both of you. So from my experience working with teenagers, I can say that emotional effects of social media are becoming more serious than ever. I met students who feel anxious if they don't post daily, and some of people will delete the post if they don't reach a certain number of likes within the first hour. The show can deeply their self-esteem, depends on visual approval. So you can also see a pattern called comparison anxiety. When teens scroll through perfect looking people of luxurious lifestyle, they start feelings like they are not good enough. So that contents comparison creates stress, sadness, and even self-hate. What worse is that most of them don't realize what's happening. They think it's normal to feel bad after scrolling. That's why I always remind them social media is not real life, and your value is not measured the number of a screen. From a mental health point of view, I strongly suggest 3 things. First, early educational about emotional awareness. Second, access to schools, counselors, or online supports. And third, collaboration between influencers, the government, and mental health experts. If we want change, we need teamwork from all levels, not just awareness.
That's exactly what I think, Shasha. Collaboration is the key. I completely agree that awareness alone isn't enough, but I also think we should make mental health contents more relatable. With all due respect, sometimes campaigns feel too formal or too serious, so young people don't really connect. I think influencers like me can use a more casual and honest tone, like talking about burnout, body image, or online hate, which is a way that feels real. When we speak openly, others feel less alone. Besides, I am of the same opinions that emotional education should start early, but it should also be fun. For example, we could have a social media detox challenge in school or scroll-free on weekends. These small changes help students realize that they can still be happy without being online all the times.
I simply agree with that. In fact, I am glad you mentioned the idea of relatable campaigns. The ministry is planning to work with young creators to design content that spreads digital wellness message in a more engaging way through short video, memes, and challenges. But I also have to point out that I cannot agree with the idea that this responsibility only with young influencers. The problem is that many online platforms are profit-driven. They design features to make people stay longer. That is why we are now in talks with tech companies about introducing screen time transparency tools and stronger age controls. Still, I agree with you in part that we cannot ban or block everything. Instead, we want to empower users with awareness and self-discipline. After all, responsible freedom is better than forced control.
So that seems obvious, but I think both of you can make strong points. I totally agree that empowerment and relatable content can make a huge impact. However, I have a different opinion because we also need to train teachers and parents to recognize the early sign of digital stress. So many adults don't even realize that their child is anxious because of online comparison or hate comments. I can agree with your plans, only with reservation. If we focus too much on policy and campaigns but forget real emotion connection, we will miss the heart of the issue. So the best solution is when all three government, youth and family work hand in hand. There is no doubt about it. Social media is part of our lives now. But if we build empathy and awareness, we can make it either for growth instead of harm.
I am of the same opinion. We are all saying the same thing in different ways actually. The goal is balance. As a minister, I will continue to promote policies that protect and empower youth. And I hope influencers and advocates like you keep the conversation going. Together, we can create a future where social media brings people closer, not just them apart.
Yes, I totally agree. Social media should be a space to inspire and not to compare.
That's true. And this social media should also be a space to connect with, not kindness, not competition.
Well, now let's go a little deeper. We all agree social media brings both opportunities and problems. But who should bear that the most responsibility is this? The users, the companies, or the government?
I believe it starts with the self-awareness. When social media platforms are tools, then they can control us unless we allow them to. Of course, companies should make their systems safer, and some are already using AI to detect hate speech. But honestly, I think users should take the main responsibilities. We must set boundaries such as turn off notifications, limit screen times, and follow accounts that actually make us feel good.
So, actually, I'm sorry because I can completely agree with that. So, not everyone have the same level of discipline. Algorithms are assigned to keep you scrolling when you know it's bad for you. So for me, the company should take the biggest responsibility. They create the addictive system, so they should fix it maybe by limiting endless scrolling or hiding toxic contents.
That's a fair point, Shasha. But I still think total bans isn't fair. Even if platform changes, user might still chase likes. However, I agree that each company should redesign their system, and thankfully, some are now working on ethical AI that promote educational or mental health contents. But we still need digital education to help people make the better choices.
understand both of your points, but I am afraid I cannot fully agree that companies should take the biggest responsibility. Users must also learn to manage their digital habits. Policy can only guide, not control behavior. For example, we are planning a digital wellness certification where to evaluate how safe social media platforms are for young users.
That's great step, Daniel. But I hope it's not just a paperwork. I've seen many policies that sound good but don't reach the ground level. So I believe that collaboration is the real key between influencers, policymakers, and educators.
There is no doubts about it. That's small campaigns can make a difference. Maybe we can start with fun initiatives like Offline Sunday or the Kindness Challenge to promote positively online.
I love these ideas. To make them more impactful, I propose we formalize them into a national initiative to involve schools, influencers, advocates, and parents. Alright, here is what I propose. A national movement called Digital Wellness and Mental Health Week. During that week, schools can hold talks about online balance. Influencers like can start positive hashtag campaigns. Mental health advocates like NURSHASHA can hold workshops or stress management. Parents can join digital parenting sessions.
I can already imagine how impactful that would be. We can make it fun too, like having a Be Real challenge where students post something simple and authentic about their days instead of trying to look perfect.
That's brilliant. And maybe at the end of the week, we can hold a reflection session in school where students share what they learned about their emotion and how they can manage social media better.
I will make sure the ministry supports this campaign financially and through media promotion. So, after our discussion, we have agreed on the following steps. First, launch Digital Wellness and Mental Health Week nationwide. This special week will focus on raising awareness about balanced social media use through talks, exhibition, and interactive games. It aims to remind students that digital wellness is just as important as physical health. Second one, involve influencers, advocates, educators, and parents. Collaboration is the key. By engaging these groups, we can reach students through multiple platforms at school, at home, and online, which can ensuring the message spreads widely. And third one, conduct workshops and peer discussions about healthy online habits. These sessions will give students practical strategies to handle issues like screen addiction, cyberbullying, and comparison culture. Fourth, establish digital ambassadors in schools. Student leaders will act as role models and organize ongoing initiatives, ensuring the campaign's goals continue beyond the official launch. And the last one, promote authentic and inspiring online challenges. Instead of promoting unrealistic trends, we will encourage positive ones such as Offline Sunday or Share Kindness Challenge that nurture mental health and self-worth. In conclusion, we believe this plan will not only reduce social media anxiety, but also build a generation of youth who are more mindful, empathic, and responsible in the digital world. Before we move on, I would like to ask, does anyone in the audience have a question about social media, digital wellness, or managing online anxiety?
Yes, I have one question. I would like to ask, after the campaign ends, how would you make sure students continue to practice healthy habits?
That's an excellent question. Thank you. We believe lasting change comes when digital wellness becomes part of school culture. Not sure just one target thing. So our ministry plans to set up digital wellness clubs in schools where students lead activities like No Phone Friday or Mindful Monday to encourage real conversation and balance. We will also introduce student digital ambassador program where student leaders promote healthy online habits through talks, quiz, and short videos. Teachers will receive brief training to guide students with empathy, not punishment. Just as Shasha mentioned earlier about emotional awareness, our goal isn't to stop social media use, but to help students use it more wisely. As I often say, technology is powerful, but wisdom is what makes it meaningful.
That's a good point. But I want to ask one more question. What can students personally do to reduce social media anxiety?
That's a really good question. And honestly, it's something almost everyone needs to hear. The first step is awareness. Check how much time you actually spend online. Most phones already have screen time tracker, and you will be surprised how fast the hours goes. Then set a simple time limit for yourself. Maybe 2 hours a day for entertainment, and that's it. I totally agree with Daniel that self-control is the key. Turn off unnecessary notification and avoid scrolling lights before bed. And I simply must agree with Shasha. Stop comparing yourself with others. What you see online isn't full story. People only post their highlights. So your value isn't measured by likes or follows. Lastly, build happiness offline. Spend time with your family, meet friends, or do something creative. When you feel real life feel full, the pressure from social media start to fade away.
That's exactly what I think. I completely agree. Awareness and small lifestyle changes really help. So from a mental health point of view, I always share something called the 3R method: recognize, reflect, and respond. So for recognize, your anxiety such as notice how you feel when you scroll too long. Second, reflect on why it happened. Are you comparing yourself or afraid of missing out? Third, respond. Respond in a healthy way. For example, take a walk, listen to music, or write your feelings in a journal. It's not as simple as it seems, but once you start, your emotion will slowly feel lighter. And remember, if your anxiety feels too heavy, talk to someone like counselor, teacher, or friend. Asking for help doesn't mean you're weak. It means you care about your own well-being.
thank you everyone in the audience for your questions and participation. Your input makes the discussion even more meaningful. Thank you. I'd also like to thank Ang and Shasha for sharing their insights and expertise today. Your perspective have really enriched our conversation. Today's discussion reminds us that managing social media isn't about deleting it. It is about being smart, aware, and emotionally balanced users. Social media can be a wonderful tool for learning and connection, but only if we control it, not the other way around. There is no doubt about it. When the government, education, influencers, and youth work hand in hand, we can make the online world a healthier, kinder, and more positive space for everyone. That is all our discussion today. Thank you again to everyone in the audience for your participation, and to Ang and Shasha for sharing their valuable insight.